Chicken, 25 kilometers. Tuna, 22 kilometers. Eggs, 17 kilometers. Potatoes, 11 kilometers. Rice, medyo konti, 9.6 kilometers. Tapos yung mababa, andito na, nuts, 8 kilometers. Beans, 7 kilometers. Vegetables, 7 kilometers. Milk, 6.4 kilometers. Fruit, 4 kilometers. At yung pinakamababa, yung lentil, yung parang patane. Patane yan, 3.2 kilometers. Kumusta yung diet nyo ngayong araw na ito? Marami mo kayo kakainin beef? Marami mo kayo kakainin pork? Sa mga susunod na araw. Imagine, 100 million Filipinos. More than 100 million Filipinos. Pag tumaas ang social level natin, pag tumaas ang economic level natin, kakain tayo ng masasarap na pagkain. We are going to consume yung mga richer kind of food like meat, like pork, like beef, like lamb, like chicken, and less vegetables. But you can see kung ano epekto sa climate change sa ginagawa natin. I hope this bring home sa message. What can we do as ordinary people? Baguhin natin yung diet natin. Ikwento natin sa mga kaibigan natin, yung napakinggan natin dito, na ang laki ng epekto ng ating kinakain sa climate change, and all of us can do something about it. Ito yung tinatawag na food carbon imprint. In other words, we have to eat vegetarian. There is not only a health reason for eating vegetarian, there is a climate change reason for eating vegetarian. Next slide. Eat organic. Hindi na kailangan. Eat organic. Save water. Shop wisely. And shop local. Bakit shop local? Kasi pag bumili ka ng mga produkto na malayo, that product is going to consume a lot by way of transportation. Kasi kung yung pinakain ninyo galing sa malayong lugar, bago makarating sa hapagkainan nyo yan, ang daming biyahe ang dadaanan. Kaya mas maigi, pag bibili kayo ng pagkain, bumili kayo ng pagkain sa malapit lamang para mas mahina ang kanyang carbon imprint. And of course, try to reuse and recycle. Now, I'd like to give a lecture also on extreme weather due to climate change. And this lecture is based on the course I took in the World Bank. Warming Pacific Ocean, rising sea level, Typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan spiral surge. Expect more and increasingly more intense typhoons in the coming months and years because of climate change. Ito yung report na ginawa ko, na sinabit ko sa World Bank, no? Ano ang dahilan dito sa climate change na ito? And I would like to state, next slide please. There is a scientific basis to expect that more, even stronger typhoons will come, not after decades, but much sooner, as the world continues to warm and as nature simply follows the inviolable laws of physics that created Typhoon Yolanda or Typhoon Haiyan. Typhoon Yolanda happened November 8, 2013. Alam na natin yan, hindi natin kailangan paliwanag yan. At nakakalungkot because one day before the typhoon hit us, there was a live science report that came out giving a warning on the build-up, the increasing build-up of the typhoon, the expectation that the Typhoon Haiyan was going to become the most intense typhoon in our history at that time. Ito, galing sa live science, ano? Nakalagay dito, next slide. Haiyan got so strong because it has everything working for it, according to the report. First, it formed in the open ocean, and thus no land mass prevented it from forming a symmetrical circular pattern which helps a cyclone form and gather steam. Parang tao rin may buwelo. Yung typhoon nagbubuwelo. Pag ang dinadaanan mo, walang obstacle, tuloy-tuloy, pabilis ka ng pabilis. Pero kung medyo liliko ka ng konti, you're going to slow down. Pag meron nakaharang sa'yo, it will diffuse your energy. Ganon din ang typhoon. Wide open, and as we all know, the Pacific Ocean is the biggest ocean in the world. Yan ang unang, Second, ocean temperature. Ocean temperatures today are incredibly warm, topping at about 30 degrees Celsius. Just as important, the warm water also extends deep into the ocean. Uminit yung ocean, at yung init ng ocean, pumunta sa malalim talaga. Not just on the shallow surface, but much lower, meaning that upwelling caused by the winds will not churn up cold water, hindi lalamig yung tubig, which dampens. Pag lumamig kasi ang tubig, nadadampen ang power ng typhoon. Tropical cyclones are basically giant heat engines powered by the transfer of heat from the ocean to the upper atmosphere. Warm ocean, papunta sa upper atmosphere. Pag warm ang ocean, lalong lumalakas ang typhoon. And that's the situation in the Pacific area. Third, there is very little wind shear in the area at that time. Pag sinabing wind shear, ito yung typhoon papunta rito, yung wind shear, ganito, no? Pag medyo parang aeroplano, pag ang aeroplano titamaan ng wind shear, medyo babagal ng konti, magkakaroon ng turbulence, it slows down the plane. In the same way, when it comes to hurricanes or typhoons, it also slows down the cyclone, the hurricane, or the typhoon and prevents them from strengthening. But at that time, there was no wind shear in the Pacific Ocean. So pinredict nila that Haiyan is likely to push a large storm surge inland. Sinabi nila surge, nag-warning na sila. Magkakaroon ng surge up to 3 meters or about 10 feet. And as we all know, ang mas maraming namatay doon sa surge, yung pag-akyat ng dagat sa lupa. Na-predict nila yan, yung surge. Okay. Pero ito malungkot na nangyari, puro surge ang nire-report ng mga scientists bago dumating yung typhoon. Pero nakakalungkot, dito sa atin, hindi natin napaliwanag ng gusto. I'm sorry to say. Nagkaroon ng warning ng Pag-asa. Ito yung warning, no? I copied this, Director Solidum. I copied this from the official statement of Pag-asa. Nilagay yung mga warning. Sabi dito, location, strength. Nalagay 225 kilometers per hour. Okay lang. Sanay tayo dyan. Sabi ng mga taga-Tacloban, sanay kami dyan. 225 kilometers per hour. Kaya namin yan. 260 kilometers per hour. Aba, medyo malakas. Pero pwede pa rin. So, ito yung mga sinabi rito, no? Nagkaroon ng mga warning. Ano yung mga affected areas in the Visayas? Ito. Ayan. Ito, nakalagay dito. But unfortunately, merong warning on surge. Pero tignan nyo, kung nasaan yung warning ng surge, andun sa pinakababa. Line number 57 of the Pag-asa statement. Sino nagbabasa ng line number 57? Siyempre, unahin mo yung taas. Line number 57 ng Pag-asa, it was a by the way statement ang nakalagay dito. Sabi, magkakaroon ng, andito, no? Magkakaroon ng surge sa line number 57 saying that it's going to be a surge of about 10 feet or even higher, mga 3 meters andito sa line number 57. And in fact, what happened there, that was the warning before the storm. So, halos footnote lang yung surge, which turned out to be the killer. And unfortunately, this was also repeated by the major newspapers, Philippine Star. Ganun din binanggit nila yung lakas ng wind. And then towards the end of the story, pumasok yung surge nila. It was a footnote mentioned. So, there was no warning pagdating niya. In fact, yung statement ni Tacloban City Mayor Alfred Romualdez, it was hard to explain storm surge to the people. Surge ang sabi, sino nakakaintindi ng surge during that time? It would have been better if they say, yung surge parang tsunami yan. In fact, the effect is virtually the same. But it was not explained that way. It explained in terms of so, I'm finding out that the storm surge not explained enough. Not explained enough. And in fact, the Pag-asa official later admitted that after the damage has been done. Yun ang nakakalungkot. Yan ang satellite photo ng Yolanda. You know, Pekwan area. Ito ang mga resulta niya. Yung sea level rise. By the way, the other aspect is sea level rise. Ito yung lecture din ng World Bank, no? In terms of sea level rise. Bakit tumaas ang sea level rise? Nagkaroon kasi ng combination. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Ayan, ito, no? Yung hangin nanggagaling sa may bandang east. At that time, the wind, at that time of the year, the wind was blowing from the east doon, papunta ng west. Papunta sa atin. Ito. Ayan, dito. Ang lugar ng Pilipinas, mataas na ang sea level rise dyan. According to scientists, the sea level rise in our part of the world, because we are near the equator, is about 10 to 15% or even higher than the average sea level rise all over the world. But it was aggravated by what I showed, the winds blowing. Pakibalik ka. Yan. The winds blowing. Pakibalik. Yan. Papunta kaya kita mo yung the redder the area, the higher the sea level rise. So that was the reason for the tragedy. We had the combination of all the negative things. Next slide, please. Next slide. It aggravated the impact of Typhoon Haiyan. The trade winds pushing the Pacific seas. Next slide. Yeah, the trade winds pushing the Pacific seas from east to west. And this will continue to make the sea level around the Philippines the highest in the world. Thus, posing the danger of a deadlier surge the next time a highly probable typhoon from the wide open Pacific Ocean comes again. Next slide, please. So, yan yung report natin na sinabit ko sa World Bank during that time. Next slide. Next slide, please. Ayan, nakalagay dyan. And for the Philippines, there's a need for greater awareness of the scientific finding that the rise in our part of the world, in the low latitude region in the tropics, we are near the equator, we are about 15 degrees from the equator, is 15 to 20% higher. The videos on sea level rise by the professor are very effective in explaining this, and the video was propagated and echoed in countries like the Philippines. Yung east-west trade winds, next slide.